Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna do a deck doctor. This deck we are going to doctor is called the Rush Pocchi deck. It's from the user Superman, or currently he changed the name to No Waifu No Regrets. And by the way, the plan of the deck is to have as many spells as possible, and possibly all aggressive ones. So it means to be a very aggressive deck, and so we run 2 copies of Lead the Charge. Then we also want to abuse the fact that the Pocchi has an additional economy, and also we want to have even more with 2 fifths. To then have even more cards to play thanks to the Synod. Then we run 2 copies of Loan, probably because you want to be as fast as possible in the start. And also, I said that it should be a very spell-heavy deck, but really Ballista and Catapult are really efficient, and so probably you want to run those as well, even though it's a very spell-heavy deck. And also we run a Sibylline Scroll to help us, obviously, redraw the cards that we need. So that's the deck we are gonna doctor. Let's try this out and then let's see what it works and what doesn't. So, in the first match we are up against a Metris for what seems to be a Condottiere deck. So I think that it will have a lot of economy tools. So let's see if we do get the magic to kill the Condottiere. We do, so that's really fine. And also we did start with a Ballista, which is a pretty good start. Let's see, goes for the misdirect, so the Ballista will die, but we will play the Catapult and then also replay the Ballista, which is really nice. Really, we did grab the control of the game, the board control at least, so we can go also for a Synod to just help us even more grab stuff from our bank. We could go for a Loan into a Thief, which actually repays back the Loan. At least the Thief actually pays back the Loan, since really a 3-cost Loan actually costs only 2, because you are then drawing a card, and with the Thief you gain those 2 gold back, so it is a pretty nice move to do. We can also go for another Thief, and really right now we have pretty good recycling capabilities. So we will increase our deck size by a lot. So he's building up a board, but really I don't think we'll be able to recover, since it's just a matter of time until we just win. So let's go for the Thief as well. We do redraw also the Ballista. Definitely pretty lucky for us. The only way he has to actually regain his board control is with the misdirect. So he does kill the Catapult and the Ballista, but we will be able to kill some of his stuff with the Lead the Charge. Actually, the Condottiere and the Berserker. So the Ramparts will not help him, as we have Catapults to finish off the game. Let's see if we get the proc from the Wishing Coin. We did not, so he does draw a bunch of stuff from our deck, which is unfortunate. Now that's really very big walls, and yeah, I think that he did swap the position. Before we were on the advantage, and now we're pretty much lost. We pretty much can't deal with this type of board. Only the Lead the Charge could help us, but we do not have economy for that, at least for now. So yeah, that's GG. So the problem with this deck, first of all, is that I really don't like the Loan. You have seen that it's true that he gave us the advantage, but then we were pretty much on to negatives, or really close to that on the later turns. So first of all, I will start to not run Loans, as we really want to be very economic and really have a big economy, and not just have a really good start, because on later turns we will not be able to have the full potential that the Synods will give us, and we really want to be a cycling, rushing deck, so we want to cycle, so we want to buy cards, and so for that reason I will swap to the Usuries instead. Then probably the second thief is a bit unnecessary, and since we went for an usury strategy, we have to deal with a really ally based heavy deck that will give an advantage over several turns. So probably a good fit could be a Malediction, just to help us deal with those decks. Then I really don't like the Catapult and the Ballistas. Probably the Ballista is still fine, but the Catapult is a bit too much of an investment, which most of the times will not pay out, because really your opponent will probably remove those Catapults. So if you want to go for Catapults and the Ballistas, then you probably want to run a Benediction as well. But we are not that type of deck, since this is a Cycling Rushing deck and not a Benediction Pocchi deck. This is not the type of deck that we want to build. But for now I pretty much don't want to commit too much with removing them. Let's just try another deck, another match with this type of setup. We switched our economy tools, and so let's see how this works, and then let's see other changes. So we are up another time against a Madris for what seems to be a Greta Steel with cut purses, and we still don't see the Brigand or the... what was the name? The Bodyguard, but it seems to be that type of deck. So we have still nothing to deal with the Cutpurse, but we could go for a Ballista to deal with it on the next turn. We do also restock a Malediction, which is really great against this deck. So let's see, they both will die, so we can actually go for an Usury, because really, as I said, we don't care about our opponent getting that much gold. We will eventually win on the long run. So let's also go for a Catapult, which will give us more advantage over time, and since our opponent doesn't have a clear way to answer that thing. So he goes for a Tavern Wench, but she will die. So we can even push forward another time our advantage with by going with another Catapult. So, and really you see how much the Usury is helping us. It just really smooths out our curve. We can grab cars much faster and much more reliably. Probably that was a misplay, because the Greta, it was lucky for him to retaliate so many times, but probably I should have played around that. So probably I want to remove the Brigand as soon as possible and not go for a Catapult, because I don't want him to steal so much from me. So let's see, the Impersonate, if it goes for the Catapult. He did not grab the Catapult, so it's pretty nice for us. He did get for an Usury, but we could easily go for a Malediction to clear his board, and this situation is looking pretty good for us. So let's see if he steals a Ballista or a Lead the Charge. Probably I would like more the Ballista, since then the Lead the Charge kills the Ballista. But yeah, he went for the Lead the Charge, which is actually much better on an afterthought. So let's go for an Usury to even more help us our economy, since we really don't care about his gold at this point. He just has so much that we don't care giving him 6 more. So really probably a very good matchup for us, because really we have all the tools to deal with this type of deck. So let's go for another Usury as well, so that we really will not care about our economy in quite a long time. For quite a long time. So let's see, we just need the 3 more damages. Let's see if the Lead the Charge kills a Catapult, and it will be not enough. He also has to play a Cutpurse or a Brigand to actually shield his face. So the Lead the Charge plus the magic will obviously kill one of the Catapults. Or even just to Lead the Charge if both hits on the Catapult. So he also needs to play a Brigand. No, that's GG. That was a misplay, but it's fine. Probably the game was already lost by then. So I really like more this type of setup, but you did see that Ballistas and Catapults actually most of the times just give value to our opponent. In the sense that if you are against Madris, then they have a very good target to steal with Seduce and stuff, and if not against Madris, really your opponent could probably just kill them. Also Madris, but really any other faction could just kill them, And so those cards are pretty much more like your opponent loses resources to kill them. So it's like a double embargo in the sense that they need to spend 2 resources to kill them. And so you see that it is not fitting our strategy, as we want to really rush our opponent down and really have a cycling deck. So really all these cards really hinder our strategy because they stay on the board, they actually don't cycle. So I probably want to get rid of them. Probably want to go for another Malediction to really be safe against those type of deck when we go for the Usury. And probably another Synod, because really, if we have this great economy, we want to have so much buying power, and so we need cards to actually spend this gold on. So let's just go and try for another Synod, and obviously we don't probably want to grab 2 of those, but it's just really to have a more consistent Synod into the bank, which can actually make us play even more Usuries, which will then give us even more economy to grab even more Synod, and so on and so forth. And we don't really care about our opponent getting this much gold, because we can answer those threats, which are most of the times comes into allies form. We don't really care about spells and instant values because they are not so great. We just want to answer allies, a lot of them, or really strong ones. But it is for a lot of them, then we have the Malediction. If it is a really strong one, we could go for more lead the charges. So I am pretty sure this could work, but obviously testing will tell us. So we are up against a Burn Theodox, which is pretty much not our best matchup. So let's just start with an Usury, which will eventually make him go into negative. And so this will hinder his firepower. It is true that we give him a really good advantage on the start, but later on it will be not as strong, because really this actually reads -2 gold to your opponent. So in the long run, which is probably not the long run, as this game will be pretty fast, but eventually it will hinder his firepower, his attack potential. So let's see, we probably want to hit the Thief and the Synod as soon as possible, so that we can probably outrush him, but it's really difficult. So if we go for another Usury, that will be probably the last one. So let's see what he restocks and if we want to go for it. So let's see. Probably don't want to play the Usury, as this will give him the opportunity to go for a Satchel Bomb, which will be too fast for us. So instead let's go for another Thief, and probably a Cybernean Scroll, which will give us another Thief, which is nice. So yeah, and then just pass. Now we want to start grabbing those lead charges, and hopefully win the game. Probably first of all the Thief, which will really give us a very good economy, and a very good economy will actually help us against the Arsons, which is probably the worst thing we could get. So also we could try and go infinite, but that's obviously not the time to do that. So right now we also don't want to play the Usuries anymore. So in 3 turns we are actually dead, because he has the magic to actually attack us. Also he should not restock any 2 gold cost card, because that will also kill us. So let's go for a Cybernean Scroll and a Thief. We don't want to obviously give him an Usury. Let's go for another Thief, let's go for another Thief. So actually nothing really good. So I guess let's go for a Malediction. We do get double Usuries and really we can't play them, so let's just wait. If he does get the proc from the Ushin coin, that's probably really close to GG. So let's go for Cybernean Scroll, Thief, Malediction, Synod. And yeah, we really can't do anything more than that. Next turn we are probably dead. Let's go for lead the charge. Probably we got lucky right now. Let's see if we get the crazy cycle. No, we don't. So might as well try and go for the Usuries, since this is really a last effort And yeah, we didn't. Probably I should have played the usuries first, but probably the game was already decided by then. I'm BM by our opponent, so let's see if we can grab the win. Probably yeah, so really a bad BM for our opponent. So we then don't get anything from the Siberian Scroll. Probably should have played my cards from the bank first. Let's see, Malediction. Malediction. Let's see if we draw something. No, so yeah, our opponent BM didn't work. But he passed another time, so really he is searching for the kill, and yeah, we killed it. So a really bad BM from our opponent, but really we did lose at that time. So we probably have to change something. And the problem here was that we can deal with fast decks. And then fast decks, in particular, only Theo Burn, because for example, if we are against Zalazam, we have ways to kill the first turn Zamjigar. So yeah, and probably the Theoborn is just the thing that counters our strategy. We can't really do anything about that. Probably having allies will solve the problem, but I don't know if that's the way to go. Probably we could place an ally on this deck, like for example a soldier, to answer those type of decks, but I don't know if that's the way to go. It's good for an like a deck to have counters, but probably we could try. On an afterthought, probably the second Synod is a bit too much, and to answer those really fast decks, probably, I don't know, a knight or a soldier, because really they gain value in the sense that with all this cycling power, the knights or the soldier really get strong, as they are always and constantly on the board, and also they have value in compared to catapult and the ballista, because they have pretty much assured retaliate. Probably the knight is better, as having a knight every turn is really strong. But then we are pretty weak against seduce effects. But probably if that's the case, if he runs a seduce, then we probably don't want to play the knight. So let's just try the knight out, because really this doesn't cycle, but it's very good if we cycle back to it every turn. So let's try this out. So we are up against a mirror Vespitole for what seems to be an ally Vespitole. So definitely this should be our matchup. So let's just start with the usuries, and then probably we want to restock Malediction pretty badly, but we do already have the lead chart, so it would have been fine anyway. But we do also get the Malediction, which is really good. So let's see. Currently the Malediction obviously has the best value, as it will be 4 attacks right now, so definitely we want to go for the Malediction. Right now it will be 5 attacks, so definitely much better the Malediction. So yeah, the soldier is killed, but we still need to answer the ballista and the catapult. So definitely a pretty good start for him, but we did give him 2 usuries, so it's obviously gonna be a good start for him. Let's just get him another one. And you really see that right now he's only at 1 gold even after the usury, and so this will mean that on the later turns he will pretty much be always negative. So yeah, and we have ways to clear his stuff. So probably want to go for the knight first to actually absorb some of his retaliations from the mercenary. Let's go for the knight. Then probably want to go not for the usury another time, because he's going into the negatives, and so it's fine. And also you see that the knight right now is shielding for the catapults and mercenary hits, which is definitely what we wanted. So right now we definitely want to restock a synod, or yeah, probably only a synod, or obviously other lead charges. So the Siberian Scroll didn't get us anything, but we do redraw the knight, which is always nice. I'm pretty much liking the knight as a way to, the only way we have to survive, but it also puts even pressure, because obviously he has the retaliate, and it's also a long-term value, pretty much really low one, since it is only 1 attack per turn, but really it does have a long-term value. And really I like the fact that it is a really compact card, in the sense that it has the survivability that we lack, and also the aggressiveness into the retaliates, and also a long-term value, which is a pretty low one, but still a long-term value. So yeah, I really like this this current version. Probably let's just try another play. Probably the fifth is a bit unneeded. We really have so strong economy into the usuries currently, so we probably don't need a fifth. But let's just try it out, since we didn't get a fifth in this deck, in this match. So we're up against an Endazu this time, and probably with the Underworld Barge, which probably will be a thing, and it will summon a lot of allies. The Malediction will be really strong against those, so we definitely want to try and get some out. So we also get the Usury, which is our main economy tool, so we definitely want to go for it. And really we don't care about giving him value, as we have ways to deal with all those allies later on. Let's see, he goes for a Poem of Blight, which is definitely nothing scary to us, so let's also kill the Underworld Barge. We can't go for the Malediction, so I actually did miscount, but yeah, probably let's go for a Cybering Scroll, and also a Cyanide, since we don't want to give him value with the Poem of Blight. So yeah, right now we definitely want to get a Malediction, but we probably can't. So also we don't want to give him value with the Poem of Blight, but I'm really not too scared about losing 5 gold. So it goes for a Star for Rhythm as well. So probably right now we want to go for a Knight or a Malediction, but we will try to kill the Conjured Warrior, which we do, as next turn it would have been lethal otherwise, but also you can play the Poem of Blight and that's GG. So yeah, we probably did misplay that, and probably let's just try it out another time. So we're up against a Daramek for what seems to be a Sacrifice Mogesh. So definitely the Malediction will not have a really good value in this matchup, so we probably want to spam lead the charges and also have some value with the Knight. So probably let's first get to the Knight, as we will be taking a lot of damage, I imagine, and also the long-term value is indeed pretty significant. Not that much, but it could obviously help. What is the real value of the Knight is probably the retaliate and not the on-turn attack. So we probably want to kill the Ardobors, or not. So let's probably go for the fifth first, as we want to grow our economy. So let's see, we probably now can go for a lead the charge. So do get the fifth, which is definitely nice. We can go for another lead charge. And you see that without usuries, probably each turn we will be able to grab at least one card in the form of the lead the charges, which is not bad, but not really that good either. Right now I'm thinking that probably the Malediction, the second copy, is a bit unneeded, because really Malediction only shines in some matchups, and when we do get the usury. So in those matchups when we want to go for the usuries and he has an ally based deck, then the Malediction is useful. And so probably running 2 copies for consistency is not that needed, because that scenario will not arise so many times. And if we do get in that scenario, then we have the Synod to actually help us grab the Malediction. So probably no need for a second copy. So right now we definitely want to redraw our... and yeah, that's probably GG with the Serpent Altar. Yes, really we do lack... we are not that rushy, because really we can't be a rush deck as a Vespitole. And we also lack survivability. So probably, as I say, the second Malediction is a bit unneeded. So we want to get rid of it in place of more survivability. So probably another knight or a soldier would be really nice. So let's probably go for a soldier, as I think the second copy of a knight is better the first copy of a soldier instead of the second copy of a knight. And probably another time the fifth is a bit unneeded. Really, we did grab that, but it does take 3 turns to pace out for itself. And as we are a rush deck, we probably don't want to go for the fifth. The user is much better at paying off for itself in early stages. So you probably want to get even more cycling capabilities. So probably a Courtly Intrigue could work fine, or even a Masquerade Ball. Probably we want to grab the Courtly Intrigue, as we really need some cheap spells, which we lack. Probably the cheapest spell we have is the Lead the Charge, which is definitely not good. So instead we want to go for a Courtly Intrigue just to help us grab those cheap spells. And now that I think about that probably the best value could be the Spice Road, as we do have ways to convert those food into attacks with the knights, and it is probably better than the Courtly Intrigue, as sometimes the knight will be injured, and so it will give us even more value by getting us an health point and an attack. So probably the Spice Road could work, as we do have 2 allies to help us our survivability and aggressiveness and long-term value. So let's try this out. So we are another time against an Endazu for what seems to be an incantation Raktaban. So we probably want to start with an usury, as it is obviously our main economy tool, and we want to grab that as soon as possible. So he goes for a Starfall Requiem, but we will really not have so much good spells. Actually, good allies, what am I saying? But it is pretty dangerous with the usury, as you will probably be able to grab the value from the usury and deny the value to us with the Starfall Requiem. So probably we went for this early on usury, but we will be careful to not play the usury when he plays the Starfall Requiem. So probably I will go for the Poem of Light right now, so he did went for it, which is indeed nice. So right now we probably want to go for another Lead the Charge, because really I don't want to give him so much value with the Starfall Requiem, which will probably come next turn. So let's go for another Lead the Charge. He did wait to go for the Starfall Requiem, so I guess we'll just wait as well. We obviously don't want to go for another usury, and the soldier, as another time I don't want to give him too much value. So he's pretty much going all in on not going into gold anymore, so he's just going for incantations, and that's it. So probably we want to play the usury, as really probably we set him to 0 gold, and we force out a Starfall Requiem, so let's see if he goes for it. Also another time we want to wait for the Aldis, probably just another turn, then we will go for it anyway. So let's see if we bait out his Starfall Requiem. Still nothing, but really probably this is the right time to go for an ally. But we will go for the soldier, as we don't want to make him discard the knight, which we will probably be able to grab on the next turn. So let's see if we bait out his Starfall Requiem. Probably we'll go for Song of Spring plus Starfall Requiem, but we are really fine with that. And also the Engraved Urn really doesn't see so much, it doesn't make so much sense to run in a Starfall Requiem deck, but probably we'll have ways to synergize with it. So I see the fact that if he goes for Song of Spring and we kill them, then yeah, sure, the Engraved Urn is fine, but if not, it's really not that great. So he did went for the Starfall Requiem, so we can start going into ally mode. So let's start with the Lead the Charge first, then the Spice Road, and then a knight, which will help us on the survivability side. And also, as I say, the Spice Road actually are 3 attacks for now, actually 2, because he did make us lose a resource. Let's see, he does attack the knight. I don't know if that's the right move to go, because really, as I said, we have ways to cycle back to it really well. so it will just be more value to us. So let's go for the soldier, and might as well attack with it, since I don't want him to make us lose resources by, for example, the Poem of Blight. Might as well use those resources. So really, with the lead charge, we pretty much have the game. Probably right now the right move is to not attacking and play the Song of Spring as well. If not, it's lethal, so please play the Song of Spring. Okay, and also heal. Yeah, okay, so that's the right move. So let's go for a lead charge. Another one. And it's just a matter of time at this point. Probably could go for a Halting Rebuke and Song of Spring. But really, Vespitole, yeah, Vespitole does get better and better as time passes. Instead, the Endazio doesn't, or really not in an exponential way as the Vespitole does. Also, probably the Vespitole is a polynomial, but anyway, so yeah, we really had the game, so GG. So another time, I pretty much like the more cycling capabilities this deck has. It does has answers for all the basic deck into Malediction. We do have survivability, at least right now. So, and also, this Spice Road could be used for survivability if we need to. For example, with the Tail Burn that we did encounter in the early stages. But could also be used to, like a cheap spell to attack with the Soldier and the Knight. So really, I like this iteration. Let's try it another time. So, we are up against Greta, for what seems to be another time a Greta Steel. So we want to be able to answer those early on allies, like Lucky and Brigand, and it is really good that we have lead the charge against the Greta in particular, because this will get past his intercept. So he also goes for a Lucky and a Bodyguard, so definitely a pretty good start for him. Probably I want to go for an Usury instead, and then lead the charge, and we do hit the Lucky but not the Brigand, and probably I'm more happy about playing the coin, so that he will steal it and not give us an attack, because really with the Usury gold will not be a problem. So let's see, it does build quite the board, but we do have Malediction, so we just need to grab it. Let's see if we can withdraw the lead the charge. We don't. We could go for a Spice Road. Let's see, we do get another Spice Road, so probably let's just attack and heal with the food. Also, there was no point in not healing, because if we did not, then we give him food to actually heal the Bodyguard, for example. Instead, by feeding, we did get the attack, but we would have given an attack anyway. So let's see if we can grab the Soldier. We can't, but probably let's just wait to grab it, as it will shield from the Brute and the Brigand. So let's see, we are pretty much in a bad spot right now, but we could recover, and we will recover, because that's what we do. So, as you've seen, definitely those redrawings are pretty much helping us a lot. We can also attack with the Soldier, so let's obviously do that. And really, we are pretty much recovering as time passes. It's just a matter of time. If the DLC did grab the Soldier, we would have pretty much in a bad spot, but it did not, so that's good for us. Let's wait for the Knight, and that will really help us survive on the long run. He does have a Mayhem, but probably he will have to keep it for the Knight when it will come out, which he does right now. Or probably we could go for a Malediction. No, probably the Knight is better, because we are really in danger right now. So let's also kill the Brute, I guess. Or probably grab the Spice Road, as we want to have more cycling capabilities, and also the food did eat the Brute, which is fine. And really, right now I probably played in a way so that he didn't have lethal in any way. Probably there could be some scenarios where he could kill us, probably not right now. So he does have a Ransack, let's see if he goes for it. He does. He does grab a lead the charge. We are 2 away from lethal, so definitely pretty threatening. So let's see, he could kill the Soldier, be left at 2 skulls, and then play the Mayhem for 4, so that's 6. We are safe, but not that much. So probably want to go for another usury and search for another thing. We didn't get anything, so yeah, he doesn't have ways to kill us from gold, from coins at least, so probably we are still safe. Let's see. So next turn we will obviously go for Malediction, but we have to be careful about his retaliations. So he did not attack, so we are pretty much safe from his retaliations. So let's go for a lead the charge. Also we have ways to recover thanks to the Spice Road. So we can go for the Malediction right now. Let's obviously go for it. She does not retaliate any time. So that's really nice. We can obviously heal as we want survivability right now and not value with attacks from the Soldier and the Knight. So let's see, Malediction does the most damage right now. So let's go for a lead the charge as well. Sibling Scroll into lead the charge another time. Spice Road, definitely nice. Probably we want to grab a Knight, because really we want to settle the game. And with the value of the Knight, it really helps us put a mark on the game and settle our win. And also it does bait the Mayhem, obviously. So probably let's go for another Soldier for the same reason. Let's also kill the Brigand, because we don't want to give him value. Another Knight, and yeah, that's probably GG. We also did make him into negatives thanks to the usury, and really you see the power of the usury. We give him a really good start, but then the later stages of the games is pretty much ours. So I don't want to play another usury because he will be into negatives, so no point in giving him a chance to recover. Because into that negative, this means that he will be negative for 2 turns, which is pretty good news. So let's go for Spice Road to lead the charge, and that's it. So yeah, I really like the current iteration of the deck, because we have survivability and aggressiveness in the same deck. So probably, yeah, let's just play another game to see where this deck fall apart. So, we are up against an Inquisitor Listrada for what seems to be obviously an Inquisitor Listrada, so probably this is a good match to see where this deck falls apart. We definitely want to start with an usury because we don't have anything better to do. We have ways to answer his early on Vintner, so he does went for a Merchant Guild and he did regrab that. So probably we want to outrush him, so there is not a good point in going for a Knight, because it will not be of good value in the long run, as it will be not a long run game. So right now we don't want to grab another usury because this will give him too much value. Let's see if we can grab the Knight. We can't, so probably let's just wait. So let's go for another lead the charge and then the Knight, as we don't have anything better to grab. If not, I would not have grabbed the Knight. And yeah, that's probably GG. Yeah, that's GG. This deck is absolutely broken, so there is no point in playing against it. If he does get the right hand, it is impossible to beat, and we have not resource denial, which is the only thing that beats this deck out, and so it's not a big deal that we did lost to a broken deck. So we are another time against this deck. Let's see if this time we are a bit more lucky. We don't want to start by him getting the Merchant Guild as fast as he did in the game before, so we will not go for an usury this time. So let's just try and outrush him. We probably don't want to grab an usury. Yeah, the Spice Road, sorry. We do want to grab the Knight this time, as it will be 4 attacks and 1 attack every turn, and it will be probably not be discarded anytime soon. So let's go for a Sibling Scroll to help us regrab the charge and actually try to outrush him, which probably isn't the case because he did redraw the Merchant Guild. And yeah, that's another time GG. Really, this deck is just broken. There is no way to not lose against it. Another time. Let's see if we can work this out in some way. Let's see if we can grab the charge. We can't. So this time that he does not have the Merchant Guild, we probably want to go for an usury and try to do something. And we do have ways to clear the winter. Next turn we will go for a Merchant Guild, so might as well go for another usury as well, as there is no point in not doing that. And probably let's just grab the lead the charge as soon as we can. So might as well go for another lead the charge and try to be as fast as we possibly can. He does get the winter, and yeah, another time that's GG. Wow. Well, it is unfortunate to end with this losing streak, but really, this is the one we did face is a real meta deck, and so nothing to do with that. This is the speed of the strategy can't possibly beat that that fast of a deck, which is the Inquisitor Merchant Guild Listrada. It has some counters, like for example the Greta Steel or some resource denial, but really that was just a broken deck, and we can't aspire to beat that type of deck with an off-meta deck. But yeah, in the other cases, I'm pretty much happy with this current version of Cycling Rush Pocchi deck. I do like the fact that it is pretty aggressive with the lead charges and the malediction, and also the Spice Road, which can convert into attacks. It's actually like a bit of a courtly intrigue. I do like the cycling capabilities. I do like the fact that we have a lot of economy in the form of usury that we can spend on the synods, and we do have ways to recover from a good start from our opponent, since we did give him the usury in the form of lead the charge or malediction if it is an ally based deck. So yeah, I really like the deck. As seen, it can't compete against real meta decks, but nonetheless it's a pretty nice deck in my opinion. That's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Be sure to leave down below a comment to let me know what you want to see in the next videos, and as always, see ya!